Almost everyone, at least once in their life, has had to go through the loss of a loved one. According to WebMD, 32% have gone through the pain of losing a family member or a close friend, excluding a parent or a child, in the last 3 years. Many people go through the 7 stages of grief, which include shock, denial, guilt, anger, depression, reconstruction, and acceptance, according to Trivia Talk. The first stage is shock. It is normal to be shocked, especially if it was something that happened unexpected. Some people also try to not believe it to avoid the pain that they feel. Some try just to protect themselves. It can also affect them physically by making them feel dizzy or nauseous. The second stage is denial. Denial means how you express your emotions about the situation. Some deny that their loved ones are dead, and some deny the way they feel about it. The third stage is guilt. Guilt can make you regret the things you didn't say or didn't do once they died. A lot of people don't realize the things that they could have done for somebody until they're gone. People try to make sense of what happened and also sometimes tend to blame themselves for it, even though they had nothing to do with it or could have controlled it. The fourth stage is anger, and it is a very real stage, and it is a common stage of grief. A lot of people get the feeling of, why is this happening to me? Or what did I do wrong to make this happen? They feel angry at themselves for not being able to do anything about it. It is also common to take anger out on somebody else that's not in the situation just because of all the things that are built up and all the things you are thinking. The fifth stage is depression. And this is when you really start to accept it, but you are unable to cope with it in a healthy way. You will feel the want of wanting to be alone, and it is also a time of reflection of those people that you lost. At this point, you finally start accepting it and start coping with it better. The sixth stage is the stage of reconstruction. You are able to be more functional. Things kind of start going back to normal, and it doesn't mean that you won't feel all the other stages, but it also helps you think more clearly and get back to your life as normal as it can be. The seventh stage is the final stage, and it's acceptance. It's when you are able to accept and cope with it in a healthy way. You start to feel okay again. You feel like you can talk about them without feeling an incredible amount of pain. This is where you start sharing the memories and the laughs and the joys of the loved ones that you have lost. Now, let's talk about ways you can cope with it. Judy Rosenberg says that it is important to express how you feel, whether it is in a positive or negative way. Keeping all the things in will only make things worse for you. Being around family and friends and having a good support system really helps. There is no way of avoiding grief, but it is important to appreciate life and the people around you than to push it away and think that it's a bad thing. Don't be afraid to cry. Let it out. Let all your emotions out, because the longer you hold them in, the worse it's going to be when they all come out. And now for how grief has personally affected me. When I was 7 years old, my uncle died. He had a heart attack. I was with my grandparents in Tiercy, that's where they lived, and they got a phone call from my mom saying, "Hey, he's in the hospital, you need to get there as fast as you can." The hospital was 2 hours away, so we went as fast as we possibly could. Once we got there, my grandparents were able to go in before he passed away and say their goodbyes, but by the time my parents and everybody else got there, it was too late. Once my dad got there, I went in with my dad and we said our goodbyes. Later that week, we went back to Tiercy and had his funeral. I was only 7 years old, so it was hard for me to understand what was actually going on. But now that I look back on it, I see the struggles of it, what everybody went through, and I wish that I had that time with my uncle. It's sad to know that I didn't get to know him as much as the others, but I also realized that our family handled it in a great way, and we also had each other to get through it. There are sadly severe reactions to the loss of a loved one, affecting approximately 10 to 15% of people. Mainly occurs to people that had depression before it all happened. Everyone deals with it differently, and I hope this shows that you can deal with it in a more effective and positive way. Have a good day.